Ladies and gentlemen, intelligence is not just about what you know. It's about how you think, how you act, and how you apply wisdom to your life. A truly intelligent woman is not defined by degrees or accolades, but by the principles she lives by, the vision she carries, and the impact she makes on the world. Today I want to share with you the habits that distinguish highly intelligent women. Women who rise above limitations, lead with wisdom, and walk in purpose. Personal growth is the foundation of a successful and fulfilled life. A highly intelligent woman understands that she is her greatest investment, and she does not leave her development to chance. She takes responsibility for her own growth, because she knows that knowledge is the key to transformation. Growth is not accidental, it is intentional. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stagnant is the willingness to learn, adapt, and improve. A woman who prioritizes her growth does not wait for opportunities to come to her. She prepares herself so that when opportunities arise, she is ready to step into them with confidence. She is constantly seeking ways to improve her skills, expand her knowledge, and refine her character. One of the ways a woman invests in her growth is through reading. Books are treasures of wisdom, and a wise woman understands that what she feeds her mind determines the quality of her thoughts. She does not just read for entertainment, she reads for enlightenment. She studies biographies of great leaders, devours books on personal development, and immerses herself in wisdom that will sharpen her perspective. She understands that learning does not stop after school. Life itself is a continuous classroom, and every experience presents an opportunity to grow. Another essential aspect of personal growth is self-awareness. A highly intelligent woman takes time to reflect on her strengths and weaknesses. She is not afraid to confront areas of her life that need improvement. She welcomes constructive criticism not as an attack, but as a tool for refinement. She understands that no one is perfect, but those who are willing to grow will always rise above those who choose to remain the same. She does not let past failures define her. Instead, she learns from them and uses them as stepping stones toward a better future. Surrounding oneself with the right people is also a crucial part of growth. The people a woman associates with have the power to influence her mindset, attitudes, and action. A woman who prioritizes her growth is careful about the company she keeps. She seeks out mentors, role models, and friends who inspire her to become better. She understands that wisdom is contagious, and being around those who are striving for excellence will naturally push her toward the same path. She does not entertain negative influences or toxic relationships that drain her energy and lower her standards. Instead, she aligns herself with those who challenge her to think bigger, reach higher, and become more. Time management is another critical element of personal growth. A highly intelligent woman understands that time is a non-renewable resource, and how she spends it determines her future. She does not waste hours on meaningless distractions, but instead dedicates time to activities that contribute to her development. Whether it is attending seminars, engaging in meaningful conversations, or setting aside time for self-reflection, she ensures that every moment is used wisely. She plans her day with intention, prioritizing tasks that align with her goals and aspirations. A woman committed to growth also embraces challenges. She does not run from difficult situations, but sees them as opportunities to strengthen her character. She understands that growth often comes from discomfort, and rather than fearing failure, she embraces it as part of the learning process. She is not easily discouraged when things do not go as planned, because she knows that every setback carries a lesson. She is resilient, adaptable, and always willing to push past limitations to achieve greater things. Ultimately, personal growth is a lifelong journey. A highly intelligent woman never reaches a point where she believes she has learned enough. She remains curious, open-minded, and eager to evolve. She understands that the greatest investment she can make is in herself, and she refuses to settle for mediocrity when she was created for greatness. The people a woman surrounds herself with have a profound impact on her mindset, decisions, and future. A highly intelligent woman understands that her associations can either elevate her or hinder her progress. She is intentional about the company she keeps because she knows that relationships shape character, influence habits, and determine destiny. She does not form friendships or partnerships carelessly, but instead chooses connections that align with her values, vision, and purpose. A wise woman is aware that energy is transferable. If she constantly engages with people who complain, doubt, or settle for mediocrity, she will eventually find herself adopting the same mindset. Negativity is contagious, and if she is not careful, it will seep into her thoughts and actions. She understands that proximity leads to influence, and she refuses to allow toxic relationships to drain her potential. Instead, she seeks out individuals who inspire her, challenge her, and push her toward greatness. One of the most valuable relationships a woman can cultivate is with those who have already achieved what she aspires to accomplish. She actively seeks mentorship and guidance from those who have walked the path before her. She listens to their wisdom, learns from their experiences, and applies their lessons to her own journey. She does not waste time with those who belittle her dreams or discourage her ambitions. Instead, she aligns herself with people who believe in her potential and encourage her to keep moving forward. A highly intelligent woman is also mindful of the friends she keeps. She understands that true friendship is not based on convenience but on mutual growth and support. She does not entertain friendships that thrive on gossip, jealousy, or competition. Instead, she surrounds herself with friends who celebrate her successes, uplift her in difficult times, and hold her accountable to her highest standards. She values relationships that encourage honesty, integrity, and self-improvement. The same principle applies to professional associations. A woman who desires to grow in her career does not spend time with colleagues who complain about their jobs, resist learning new skills, or blame others for their failures. She instead connects with those who are ambitious, forward-thinking, and willing to put in the effort required for success. She seeks out environments where innovation, excellence, and progress are the norm. She understands that her network is her net worth, and she is intentional about building meaningful professional connections. A wise woman also recognizes the importance of setting boundaries in relationships. She does not allow anyone to manipulate, control, or take advantage of her generosity. She understands that not everyone deserves access to her time, energy, or emotions. She is discerning about who she allows into her inner circle, because she knows that some people come into her life to add value, while others come to subtract from it. She is not afraid to walk away from relationships that no longer serve her growth. A highly intelligent woman also understands that family connections, while important, must be managed with wisdom. She loves and respects her family, but she does not allow family pressures or expectations to dictate her destiny. If there are family members who discourage her from pursuing her purpose, she maintains love and respect while setting firm boundaries. She does not allow anyone, even those closest to her, to deter her from fulfilling her calling. She also recognizes that her associations extend beyond personal relationships and into the influences she allows into her mind. She is selective about the content she consumes, whether it be books, social media, television, or news. She understands that what she repeatedly exposes herself to shapes her thinking. She chooses to engage with content that uplifts, educates, and empowers, rather than content that breeds fear, insecurity, or distraction. Ultimately, a highly intelligent woman takes full responsibility for her associations. She is not afraid to outgrow relationships that no longer align with her purpose. She does not apologize for choosing connections that support her growth. She understands that the people she surrounds herself with will either propel her toward her destiny or pull her away from it, and she makes her choices accordingly. Self-discipline is the bridge between vision and accomplishment. A highly intelligent woman understands that talent and potential mean nothing without the ability to control her actions, habits, and decisions. She does not allow emotions, circumstances, or external influences to dictate her life. Instead, she chooses to live by principles, maintaining consistency in her thoughts and actions, regardless of how she feels in the moment. She knows that success is not a product of luck, but of daily disciplined choices that align with her purpose. One of the greatest battles a woman faces is the struggle between what is easy and what is necessary. It is always easier to procrastinate than to take action, to indulge rather than to exercise restraint, and to give in to distractions rather than to remain focused. However, a woman who is disciplined understands that every decision she makes is either moving her closer to her goals or pulling her further away from them. She does not wait for motivation to do what needs to be done. Instead, she develops the habit of acting based on commitment, not convenience. A disciplined woman takes control of her time. She does not waste hours scrolling through social media, engaging in meaningless conversations, or participating in activities that add no value to her growth. She understands that time is one of the most valuable resources she has, and once it is wasted, it can never be recovered. She structures her day with intentionality, setting clear goals and ensuring that her actions align with her long-term vision. She does not allow distractions to rob her of her destiny because she knows that small compromises lead to big consequences. Emotional discipline is another key factor in her success. Life will always present challenges, and there will be moments of disappointment, frustration, and even failure. However, a highly intelligent woman does not allow her emotions to control her responses. She does not lash out in anger, retreat in fear, or give up because things become difficult. Instead, she has learned to manage her emotions with wisdom. She acknowledges how she feels, but she does not allow those feelings to dictate her actions. She remains focused on her purpose and does not allow temporary emotions to cause her to make permanent mistakes. Discipline also extends to her habits. A woman who masters self-discipline understands that what she does consistently will determine her future. She does not indulge in unhealthy behaviors that jeopardize her well-being. She is mindful of her diet, exercise, and mental health, knowing that a strong mind and body are essential for fulfilling her purpose. She wakes up early, plans her day, and follows through on her commitments. She does not rely on inspiration to stay consistent. She has trained herself to remain dedicated even when she does not feel like it. She also exercises discipline in her speech. She does not engage in gossip, idle talk, or negative conversations that do not serve her purpose. She understands that words carry power, and she chooses to speak life, wisdom, and encouragement. She guards her tongue and ensures that her words reflect the woman she is becoming. She does not allow careless speech to ruin relationships, create unnecessary conflicts, or hinder her progress. Instead, she speaks with intention, knowing that what she says today shapes her tomorrow. A disciplined woman does not give in to instant gratification. She understands that anything worthwhile requires patience, sacrifice, and perseverance. She does not take shortcuts or settle for temporary pleasure at the expense of long-term success. When faced with challenges, she remains steadfast, knowing that her ability to delay gratification will bring her greater rewards in the future. She embraces hard work, consistency, and persistence, understanding that discipline is what separates those who succeed from those who only dream. Ultimately, self-discipline is the foundation of a powerful and impactful life. A woman who masters discipline gains control over her future. She does not allow distractions, emotions, or circumstances to dictate her path. She moves with purpose, remains committed to her vision, and ensures that every action she takes is aligned with the person she is becoming. She understands that the cost of discipline is temporary, but the rewards of self-mastery last a lifetime. A highly intelligent woman understands that leadership is not about being liked, it is about fulfilling a purpose. She does not measure her success by the number of people who applaud her, but by the impact she makes. Popularity is temporary, but purpose is eternal. She is not driven by the opinions of the crowd because she knows that true leadership requires conviction, courage, and a clear vision. A woman who leads with purpose understands that she was not created to fit in, but to stand out. She does not compromise her values to gain approval. She is willing to walk alone if necessary because she knows that greatness often requires separation. She does not fear rejection because she understands that not everyone will support her journey. Instead of seeking validation from people, she seeks alignment with her purpose. She knows that when she walks in her calling, the right people will be drawn to her, and those who do not belong will naturally fall away. A leader with purpose does not allow trends or social pressures to dictate her path. She is not swayed by what is popular at the moment because she understands that trends fade, but purpose remains. She does not waste time trying to impress others or gain superficial recognition. Instead, she invests her energy in building something that will last beyond her lifetime. She focuses on making a difference rather than seeking attention. Her decisions are not based on what will make her famous, but on what will create lasting change. A woman who leads with purpose is not afraid of opposition. She understands that when she takes a stand for what is right, there will always be critics. However, she does not allow criticism to shake her confidence. She does not waste time trying to please everyone, because she knows that pleasing people is an impossible task. She remains firm in her convictions, knowing that leadership requires resilience. She is not easily discouraged by negativity because her focus is on fulfilling her assignment, not on winning approval. She also understands that true leadership is about service, not status. She does not seek leadership positions for the sake of power or recognition, but because she has a vision that will benefit others. She is not self-centered. She is mission-driven. She leads with humility, understanding that leadership is not about being above others, but about lifting others higher. She does not compete with those around her, but collaborates and empowers others to succeed. She is not threatened by the success of others because she knows that her purpose is unique and her path is her own. A purposeful leader is also a woman of integrity. She does not compromise her morals or betray her values just to gain influence. She understands that shortcuts may bring quick success, but only character sustains true greatness. She does what is right even when no one is watching. She does not sacrifice her principles for temporary recognition. She values honesty, authenticity, and righteousness, knowing that real leadership is built on trust. A woman who leads with purpose also understands the importance of long-term vision. She does not chase after every opportunity that comes her way. Instead, she carefully evaluates whether it aligns with her greater mission. She is not distracted by short-term success if it pulls her away from her ultimate calling. She is willing to say no to certain opportunities because she knows that not everything that glitters is gold. She remains focused, disciplined, and strategic in her decisions. Ultimately, a woman who leads with purpose understands that her success is not measured by how many people follow her, but by how many lives she impacts. She is not interested in being famous. She is committed to being effective. She is not seeking temporary applause. She is building a lasting legacy. She is not moved by popularity. She is driven by purpose. She walks with confidence, knowing that she was created for more than just recognition. She was created to make a difference. Words are one of the most powerful forces in the world. They have the ability to build or destroy, to inspire or discourage, to heal or wound. A highly intelligent woman understands that what she speaks shapes her reality. She does not take words lightly because she knows that every word carries weight. She is intentional about the words she speaks over herself, others, and her future, knowing that the things she repeatedly says will eventually manifest in her life. A woman who understands the power of words does not engage in careless speech. She does not gossip, complain, or use negative language that tears down instead of builds up. She knows that words create an atmosphere, and if she constantly speaks negativity, she will attract negative experiences. She refuses to speak words of doubt, fear, or limitation because she understands that what she verbalizes, she internalizes. She chooses her words carefully, ensuring that they align with the vision she has for her life. She also recognizes the impact of words on her self-image. She does not speak defeat over herself, even in moments of struggle. She understands that calling herself weak, incapable, or unworthy will only reinforce those feelings. Instead, she speaks words of affirmation and encouragement. She reminds herself of her strength, her intelligence, and her purpose. Even when she does not feel confident, she speaks confidence into existence. She understands that words have the power to shift emotions, and by declaring positivity, she can train her mind to believe in her own abilities. A wise woman also knows that the words she speaks to others carry the power to uplift or destroy. She does not use her words to manipulate, hurt, or belittle. Instead, she chooses to be a source of encouragement. She speaks life into those around her, offering words of support, wisdom, and kindness. She understands that people remember how they were spoken to, and she ensures that her words leave a lasting positive impact. She does not allow anger or frustration to make her speak words she will later regret, because she knows that once words are spoken, they cannot be taken back. She is also aware of the power of silent words, the internal dialogue that plays in her mind. She guards her thoughts because she understands that what she repeatedly tells herself will shape her actions. If she constantly tells herself she is not good enough, she will begin to act as if she is not. If she tells herself that success is out of reach, she will sabotage her own opportunities. She refuses to let negative self-talk control her destiny. Instead, she trains her mind to focus on possibilities, solutions, and greatness. A woman who understands the power of words also knows that speaking the right words at the right time can open doors. She does not waste words on meaningless conversations, but she uses them strategically to create connections, inspire change, and advance her purpose. She understands that a well-spoken word can shift the direction of a conversation, encourage collaboration, or even lead to new opportunities. She does not use words to boast or seek attention, but rather to communicate with clarity, confidence, and wisdom. Time is one of the most valuable resources a woman has. It cannot be paused, reversed, or recovered once lost. A highly intelligent woman understands that how she spends her time determines the course of her life. She does not treat time carelessly, but approaches it with intention, discipline, and strategy. She knows that every second wasted is a moment she will never get back, so she ensures that her time is invested in things that align with her goals, purpose, and growth. She begins by recognizing that time is life. Every hour spent is an hour taken from her existence, so she does not allow distractions, laziness, or unproductive activities to consume her days. She prioritizes what is important and eliminates what does not serve her future. She does not waste time in meaningless conversations, toxic relationships, or unproductive habits. She understands that while money lost can be regained, time lost is gone forever. A woman who manages her time wisely is intentional about planning her days. She does not wake up without a plan, hoping things will fall into place. She sets clear goals and organizes her tasks so that her time is used effectively. She knows that without structure, time can easily slip away unnoticed. She writes down her priorities, creates schedules, and ensures that her day is productive rather than reactive. She does not allow external circumstances to dictate her time. Instead, she takes control of it. She also understands the power of saying no. She is not pressured to say yes to every request, invitation, or opportunity that comes her way. She recognizes that not everything deserves her time, and if something does not align with her purpose or contribute to her growth, she declines it without guilt. She does not overcommit herself out of fear of disappointing others, because she knows that time spent on unnecessary obligations is time taken away from what truly matters. A highly intelligent woman values productivity over busyness. She knows that being busy does not always mean being effective. Some people spend their entire day doing tasks that do not bring them closer to their goals. She ensures that every action she takes moves her forward. She works smart by prioritizing high-value tasks, delegating when necessary, and eliminating activities that do not yield results. She focuses on quality rather than quantity, ensuring that her time is spent in meaningful ways. She also values rest and rejuvenation. She understands that managing time wisely is not about working endlessly without breaks. She recognizes that proper rest enhances creativity, focus, and efficiency. She does not glorify exhaustion, but instead ensures that she gets enough sleep, takes breaks when needed, and maintains a balanced lifestyle. She invests time in activities that nourish her mind, body, and spirit, knowing that a well-rested woman is more effective than one who is constantly drained. A woman who masters time management is also adaptable. She understands that no matter how well she plans, unexpected situations may arise. However, she does not allow disruptions to throw her off course. She quickly adjusts, finds solutions, and gets back on track without wasting time dwelling on inconveniences. She remains flexible while staying focused on her ultimate goals. She also continuously evaluates how she spends her time. She periodically reviews her habits, schedules, and routines to identify areas where she can improve. She does not settle for an inefficient use of time, but always looks for ways to enhance productivity and effectiveness. She seeks to refine her daily routines to ensure that every moment is spent with purpose and intention. Ultimately, a highly intelligent woman treats time as her most precious asset. She does not allow distractions, procrastination, or unimportant matters to steal her time. She invests in her future by making the most of every moment, ensuring that her days are filled with purpose, growth, and progress. She understands that how she manages her time today will determine the quality of her life tomorrow. A highly intelligent woman understands that dreams are the foundation of greatness. She knows that everything extraordinary begins as an idea, a vision, a possibility in the mind. No matter what stage of life she is in, she refuses to stop dreaming, because she understands that the moment she stops envisioning a greater future, she begins to limit herself. She refuses to settle for mediocrity, because she knows that life has more to offer for those who dare to dream beyond their current circumstances. She is not afraid to dream big. She does not shrink her aspirations to fit into the expectations of others. She understands that dreaming requires courage, because not everyone will understand or support her vision. However, she does not seek validation for her dreams. She knows that great achievements often start as impossible ideas in the minds of those who refuse to give up. She does not allow fear, doubt, or external opinions to silence the dreams within her. A woman who never stops dreaming also understands that dreams require action. She does not merely fantasize about success, she takes deliberate steps toward making her vision a reality. She knows that dreaming without action is just wishful thinking. She sets goals, creates strategies, and remains disciplined in her pursuit. She understands that every great achievement is built step by step, and she is willing to put in the work necessary to turn her dreams into tangible results. She also embraces challenges as part of the journey. She understands that the road to fulfilling her dreams will not always be smooth. There will be obstacles, disappointments, and moments of doubt. However, she does not allow difficulties to discourage her. She sees setbacks as lessons, failures as opportunities to grow, and challenges as tests of her determination. She remains persistent, knowing that every obstacle overcome brings her closer to her dream. A highly intelligent woman also understands that dreams evolve. She does not hold on to outdated visions that no longer serve her growth. She allows herself to dream new dreams, to expand her vision, and to embrace new possibilities. She remains open to change, knowing that as she grows, her dreams will also expand. She is not afraid to let go of a path that no longer aligns with her purpose, and she welcomes new opportunities that lead her to greater fulfillment. She surrounds herself with dreamers and visionaries. She understands that the people she spends time with can either fuel or destroy her dreams. She seeks out individuals who inspire her, challenge her, and push her to think bigger. She avoids those who constantly speak negativity, doubt, or discouragement. She knows that dreams thrive in an environment of faith, encouragement, and belief. So she carefully chooses the voices she allows to influence her mindset. She also nurtures her dreams with continuous learning. She understands that knowledge and wisdom are essential for growth. She reads, studies, and seeks mentorship from those who have achieved great things. She invests in her skills, expands her knowledge, and remains curious about the world. She knows that the more she learns, the more equipped she becomes to bring her dreams to life. Above all, she remains hopeful and unwavering in her belief that her dreams are possible. She refuses to allow the opinions of others, temporary failures, or the passage of time to convince her otherwise. She holds on to the vision in her heart and continues to move forward with faith and determination. She understands that the world belongs to those who dare to dream, and she is committed to living a life of purpose, passion, and endless possibilities. A highly intelligent woman understands that wisdom is the foundation of a successful and fulfilling life. She does not rely solely on knowledge, talent, or emotions to make decisions. Instead, she seeks wisdom in all areas of her life. She knows that wisdom is more than just intelligence. It is the ability to apply knowledge with discernment, understanding, and foresight. She values wisdom above temporary pleasures, impulsive decisions, or societal approval. Because she understands that every choice she makes today will shape her future, she applies wisdom in her relationships by carefully choosing the people she allows into her life. She understands that not everyone deserves access to her time, energy, or trust. She discerns between those who genuinely support her growth and those who drain her potential. She does not engage in unnecessary conflicts or hold on to toxic relationships that hinder her progress. She surrounds herself with individuals who challenge her to become better, who uplift her, and who inspire her to reach greater heights. She knows that the company she keeps influences her mindset, habits, and opportunities. A woman who applies wisdom is also intentional with her words. She does not speak carelessly or allow emotions to dictate her speech. She understands that words have power, and once spoken, they cannot be taken back. She chooses to speak life, encouragement, and truth rather than negativity, gossip, or idle talk. She listens more than she speaks, knowing that wisdom is often found in silence and observation. She does not waste her words trying to prove herself to those who do not value her, nor does she engage in meaningless arguments that do not serve her purpose. She exercises wisdom in managing her time and priorities. She understands that time is a non-renewable resource, and she does not waste it on distractions, procrastination, or activities that do not contribute to her growth. She is disciplined in her daily habits, ensuring that her time is spent wisely on things that align with her purpose. She plans her days with intentionality, focusing on what truly matters rather than being consumed by temporary pleasures or unnecessary commitments. She recognizes that saying no to certain things is necessary in order to say yes to what is truly important. Financial wisdom is also a key part of her life. She does not make impulsive financial decisions based on emotions or societal pressure. She understands the importance of saving, investing, and being a good steward of her resources. She does not live beyond her means to impress others, nor does she accumulate unnecessary debt for material possessions that do not add real value to her life. She makes financial choices that secure her future and create stability rather than temporary satisfaction. She educates herself about money management, understanding that financial independence is a crucial part of a life of wisdom. She applies wisdom in handling challenges and setbacks. She understands that difficulties are a part of life, but she does not allow hardships to define her. Instead of reacting impulsively to problems, she takes a step back, analyzes the situation, and seeks the best course of action. She does not waste time complaining or blaming others for her circumstances. She remains calm, patient, and solution-oriented, knowing that every challenge carries a lesson and an opportunity for growth. She refuses to make rash decisions in moments of anger, fear, or frustration because she understands that wisdom requires clarity and self-control. A wise woman also seeks continuous growth. She does not assume that she knows everything. Instead, she remains teachable, open-minded, and willing to learn. She values knowledge, mentorship, and self-improvement. She understands that true wisdom is a lifelong journey, and she constantly seeks ways to refine her thinking, expand her understanding, and improve her skills. She surrounds herself with people who challenge her intellect, expose her to new perspectives, and inspire her to keep growing. Ultimately, wisdom guides every aspect of her life. She does not make decisions based on fleeting emotions, peer pressure, or short-term desires. She moves with purpose, integrity, and clarity. She values wisdom more than popularity, material success, or temporary pleasure because she knows that wise decisions lead to lasting impact. She remains intentional, discerning, and committed to making choices that reflect her values, vision, and purpose.